And it is a fair start, and it is Ben Johnson who is out. And Ben Johnson is 2 meters of Carl Lewis. And Ben Johnson's going to run away with it. Lewis cannot catch him. Ben Johnson of Canada does it. A 9.84. Unbelievable. You gotta love it. A world record. The wind is okay. Woo!
Officially 9.83, without question, the world's fastest human, Canada's Benjamin Sinclair Johnson Jr., leaving behind American Carl Lewis and the world. Incredibly, Johnson shaves a full 1/10 of a second off the world record. Yesterday, Rome's Olympic Stadium was a place for cheering. Another world record, 6:10 1/4 for Bulgaria's Stefka Kostadinova. For a gold, Italy's 20K walker Maurizio Damolano on the right. Carlo Mattioli, his Italian teammate, was fifth. Today, the world's greatest ever 400-meter hurdler, Edwin Moses, shooting for a chance at a rare 2 world championships to match his 2 Olympic titles, and Jackie Joyner-Kersee, former UCLA basketball starter, the world's record holder in the heptathlon. She is trying to reaffirm her status as the world's greatest all-around female athlete. It's day 3 of the World Championships of Track and Field. From Olympic Stadium in Rome, it's the World Championships of Track and Field. Ben Johnson, the world's fastest human, 9.83 seconds in the 100 meters yesterday, an extraordinary sprint. At sea level, no one had ever broken 9.95 before, 9.90, 9.85. And Johnson blisters through, just destroys the record book in a world record performance here in Rome yesterday. Welcome to the World Track and Field Championships. It's day 3, and we're still all aglow. Ben Johnson's incredible run yesterday. How do you feel?
I feel great. I guess everything's all sinking now, and the pressure's off, and everything's all settled now.
Now, Ben, it's bothered you, hasn't it, that you were the #1 sprinter in '86, but people still talked about the American Lewis. And now in '87, you proved undeniably you're the best.
Well, I think coming to this race, I think, you know, like this race was it, you know. Whoever wins will be the best sprinter, you know. Other people be talking about me and Carl, who's the best sprinters, and, you know, what he's going to do. And as people expect him to win 3 gold medals here and stuff like that. So I just keep calm and, you know, do a few races early in the season, get my time down, and just get ready for this meet. And so far, I think it pays off.
How about a smile? Ben Johnson certainly has his time down and the world record time down. We're going to gather all the tapes of your start, because that really is the talk, that explosive start, and ask you to analyze your own performance. But there's much else here in day 3 in Rome. In fact, Jackie Joyner-Kersee, another world record holder, is on a record-setting pace in her event, the heptathlon. And of course, there's the incomparable Edwin Moses, the 400-meter hurdles, the semis. Let's go into the stadium in Charlie Jones.
Semifinals, men's 400-meter hurdles, top 4 finishers through to the finals. Ryoichi Yoshida of Japan is in lane 1. Amadou Diaba is in lane 2. Toma Tomov is in 3. Chris Akabusi is in 4. Jose Alonso 5. Edwin Moses 6. Tomas Newberg is in 7. And Alexander Vasilyev is in lane 8. Edwin Moses of the United States in lane 6, one of the favorites. You can say one of now. In the past, he would have been the favorite. It's a bit windy, and they'll have a wind from behind as they go down the back straight. Moses outside in lane 6 has the lead. Frank, is not all that smooth.
He's chopping a little bit. Oh, he just hit a hurdle. That threw him off a little, but he's back on form. In the next hurdle, that's where you find out if anything's going wrong. He didn't hit the next hurdle, so he's back on his steps.
So Edwin Moses is out in front in the semifinal. Outside in lane 8, that's Vasilyev, and he pulls up. Edwin Moses very comfortably in the lead. Again, this is the semifinals. Top 4 finishers will move through to the final. And Moses just strides with Diaba running second. Akabusi is running third, and Jose Alonso finishes fourth. So those 4 will move through to the finals of the men's 400-meter hurdle. Moses did not look that sharp.
Well, we have a very good example of what a great technician Edwin is. He hits a hurdle down on the backstretch, knocks it over. Look at him recover. He gets right back in his stride, and he has to run the same number of strides between the hurdles. Now, on the left, on the outside, Vasilyev looks like he was fine. He must have just pulled something. He's pulling up. He never hit the hurdle. Yeah, he's hopping like he hurt a hamstring or pulled a muscle. So he's out.
And we'll be back with more of the World Championships in Rome in just a moment. Welcome back to the World Championships in Rome. I'm Charlie Jones, along with Missy Kane and Frank Shorter. And Frank, Edwin Moses did stumble a bit, but he made it through to the finals, and his competition could well come from the next semifinal heat.
And in this heat, we have the bookends of the streak. Over 9 years ago, Harold Schmid beat Edwin in a 400 meters race, and 107 finals later, Danny Harris beat Edwin earlier this summer. Many people feel Danny Harris is the man who will inherit the crown as the king of the intermediate hurdles.
Also today, we'll see some action from the second round of the men's 400 meters.
Butch Reynolds has the 3 fastest times ever run at sea level in this event. He's the latest in a long line of American greats over 400 meters. Also in this race, Innocent Egbenike from Nigeria, who's the only man to beat him this summer.
And Missy, we have 2 running finals in the women's events.
Right, Charlie. First of all comes the 400-meter finals, and that's really wide open this year. Some people think it will be a race between the Soviets and the East Germans, but there are 2 Americans in the final, Lily Leatherwood King and Diane Dixon. They could possibly squeak through and get a medal, but it will take either one of their best race of their life if they do get a medal. Then also we've got the 800 meters final, and Charlie, that's going to be very exciting. And I predict it will boil down to a kicker's race between the women that can really change gears that last 100 meters. 2 of the favorites are East Germans. They have the best time in the world this year. One of my picks, though, is Anna Kiro from Cuba. She won 2 golds in Pan American Games. And, of course, we've got to mention Jarmila Kratovilova. It's Czechoslovakian's Hulk. I mean, you probably remember her back in Helsinki, the powerful woman who took 2 gold medals. She's not quite as fit, and she says, Charlie, this might be the last race of her career.
And also, Jackie Joyner-Kersee on her quest for still another world record in the heptathlon. Now let's go down to the track and the semifinals of the men's 400-meter hurdles.
Danny Harris, with the luck of the draw on his side, has lane 3, which means he can watch Harold Schmid of Germany in lane 6, and he can draw on him in the first half of the race to try to gain a little bit over the first 5 hurdles.
Shimo Chaco is in lane 1, Max Robertson in 2, Danny Harris, the United States, in 3, Winthrop Graham in 4, Henry Amiki is in 5, Harold Schmidt is in 6, David Patrick, the United States, is in 7, and Sveen Nylander is in lane 8. And there is Danny Harris.
To run the intermediate hurdles well, you really have to be born to do it. And Danny Harris seems to have the talent to run very smoothly between the hurdles. He's also very fast on the straightaway. Harold Schmid has been the best in Europe for over 10 years.
And those are the 2 men expected to lead this group in a challenge of Edwin Moses in the finals. Again, the top 4 finishers here will move through to the finals. Danny Harris is in 3, Schmid is in lane 6. David Patrick, the United States, is in 7, and he has an outside shot to move through. Danny Harris gets a good start in lane 3. Schmid outside in lane 6 has already closed the stagger on David Patrick. And right now it is Harold Schmid and Danny Harris.
Danny Harris now taking a little bit of a lead. He likes to run fast in the first half of the race, and he's running well.
Danny Harris with about a 1.5 meters, maybe a 2-meter lead at this point.
Still going well, coming off the turn, but he likes to run fast. Schmid's a little better at the end of the race.
It is Harris, Graham outside of him, Amiki, and then Harold Schmid. And it is Danny Harris leading the way over the final hurdle. And Schmid, as they pull up at the finish line, I believe it was Schmid first, Harris second, Eulander third, Amiki finished fourth, David Patrick of the United States coming in fifth, will not move through.
There was a little bit of a hesitation by Danny Harris over the last hurdle, and you can't do that in this event. You lose momentum. Harold Schmid came by on momentum in the end.
48-23, a pretty good time.
But Danny Harris can't afford that kind of technical mistake on the last hurdle in the final.
Let's go to Dick.
So Edwin Moses is set to try to repeat as world champion, his gold in Helsinki, and that would match the 2 golds, 76 and 84 in the Olympics. And there are his primary antagonists, Danny Harris, who ended his streak of 122 in a row, 107 in the finals, and Harold Schmid, that started the string. He's from West Germany. Amiki of Nigeria, Great Britain's Akabusi, Alonso, Spain, Senegal's Diaba, long shot, and Nylander of Sweden completes the field. So Edwin Moses today celebrates on his 32nd birthday, even though he hit the hurdle, able to recover and win his Heaties on into the finals against young Danny Harris, who apparently is his heir apparent. Now to the triple jump, the finals today in Olympic Stadium here in Rome, and the world record holder, Willie Banks, the United States in 1985 in the U.S. Nationals at Indianapolis, as he broke a nearly 10-year-old record of João de Oliveira of Brazil's. This is a leap of 58 feet, 11.5 inches for Willie Banks. And the man with a law degree from UCLA, flamboyant, animated, you didn't need a scoreboard in Indianapolis to know he had the world record. Well, Willie Banks' news here in Rome, not good. He did not qualify for the triple jump finals. That was a major disappointment, not only for him, but for the United States. So that leaves it up to Mike Conley, the only USA hope in the finals of the triple jump. Conley, of course, the silver medalist in Los Angeles. For the finals now, let's go to Dwight Stones.
A championship triple jump competition without Willie Banks is like spaghetti without meatballs. It just is lacking something. But there is no lacking for quality in this triple jump competition. There'll be plenty of enthusiasm from the competitors as well as the crowd, because they have everything that they could possibly want. Mike Conley of the United States, world indoor record holder and champion. Oleg Pritsenko of the Soviet Union, former world indoor record holder. And Khristo Markov of Bulgaria, European record holder and champion, who many say could steal this competition. Look for Conley near the last couple of rounds to pull out a big one. Let's get right to the action. Khristo Markov of Bulgaria, considered by many to be the favorite in this competition, but we all know how good Conley is as the competition progresses. Let's take a look at Markov's first round jump. He is moving down this runway. A fantastic jump. For the very first jump, he is really stretched this one out well into the pit. Khristo Markov flat out flying on the runway. Very close to a foul. I think that's what they're looking at now, but look at this distance. You can see he is driving with the knees and the arms. He is full speed here. Stretches right to the board. Outstanding technique. Let's see how close. Plenty of room to spare there. 58 feet, 1 inch. That's a new championship record on the first round for Khristo Markov. A very good beginning for him. Now, Michael Conley of the United States. Usually a slow starter, but I think 58-1 might just get his head into this competition. Ooh, Michael chopped severely near the board and has to drop down very quickly. Not a good effort at all for Michael Conley. You'll see right here, he chops his step, and that is no way to carry speed in this event. You must have your speed right on the button, hit the board well, and you can see here it's a good thing that he chopped his step, because he would have fouled. But he gets 56 feet, 10.25 inches. That's good enough for third, and it is only the first round. We'll be back with more track and field championships from Rome after this.
We're back in Rome. Millions upon millions of people around the world run, and we're with a man who runs fastest of all. Ben Johnson, the world record holder, set in a blazing manner yesterday here on a hot day in Rome. there's another great athlete we're going to focus upon today in Game 3 of these World Track and Field Championships, and that's Jackie Joyner-Kersee of the United States. Her event, the heptathlon, she's the world record holder. Do you have time to appreciate the greatness of other athletes in your sport?
Sure. I'll take time and go and watch some of the events, and Jackie Joyner is a very good athlete, and I'm very happy what she's done in the past.
We're going to get to Ben Johnson and his record and analysis of his start in a bit. But right now, let's go back out to Olympic Stadium for the world record holder in the heptathlon, Charlie Jones, to call it.
And Dick, Jackie Joyner-Kersee set her world record of 7,158 points in Houston in August, in the heat, in 1986. Now, the heptathlon consists of 7 events: the 100-meter hurdles, high jump, shot put, and the 200-meter dash on the first day. The second day is the long jump, the javelin, and the 800-meter run. Jackie Joyner-Kersee, she is rewriting the record book in this event, and she now is the finest woman athlete in the world. Her first event, the 100 hurdles. Liliana Nastasia is in lane 1, Kim Hager in 2, Cindy Greiner is in 3, Jackie Joyner-Kersee is in 4, Svetlana Boraga is in 5, Aka Bamer is in 6, and Chantal Bojo of France is in 7. Jackie Joyner-Kersee in lane 4 with a good start. And the thing to remember is not if you win an event, but how you do against the clock. And she is running very well. Jackie Joyner-Kersee out in front, and she runs very well. We will have her official time and correlate that to her points. Let's take another look at her in action.
Jackie used to have problems with her start and approaching the first hurdle. But as you can see right here, she's beautiful over the first hurdle. That's where she used to hit it sometimes. Now watch her form. Jackie used to be ragged in this event. Now she's got her rhythm down. She's using her arms well, but really I think she could even get better, and that's incredible. Jackie won 2 open meets this summer, 1 in Berlin and 1 in Zurich, so she can go against some of the best in the world in the open 100-meter hurdles.
Her time is now official. It is a 12:91, and that computes to 1,138 points. So right now, after the first event, she is 41 points ahead of her world record in Houston. Way to go, Jackie. Now let's go to Dwight Stones.
And then came the high jump. Jackie usually just looks for a jump around 6 feet 2 inches. She's usually happy with that. The bar was at 6 feet 2 3/4, and she cleared it for a new personal record. Very happy about that. Then the shot put. She always has had trouble getting over 50 feet in the heptathlon. She's done it in training, she's done it in other meets, but never in the heptathlon. She gets over it in a big way here, 52 feet 6 inches, and she loves it. Now to the final event of the day, the 200 meters in Charlie Jones.
Here are the lane assignments in Jackie Joyner-Kersee's heat, which was in the 200 meters of the heptathlon. And she has positioned herself perfectly all day long. And she gets an excellent start here, Missy.
Jackie in the middle, look at, she just takes off. One reason this is one of Jackie's best events is that she is a natural sprinter. Everyone else is fighting himself, but Jackie can run all out and control her form. Good arm drive here and great knee lift. Jackie is running against herself.
She's running against herself and against the clock. And she ran a 22.95. That converted to 1,084 points, 111 points ahead of pace. Here's Dwight.
Jackie, you're 111 points ahead of your world record score. How did you feel about the way the competition went for you today?
I felt good about the overall performances, but I was a bit disappointed about my hurdle race because I had been working on it, trying to get the whole race together, and today it seemed like the first portion of the race I was off, but the latter part of the race I felt really good.
Whatever disappointment you had in the hurdles, you got to feel great about the shot put.
Yes, because we have been working, and when I say we, I'm talking about my coach Bobby and my coach Art. We have been working on putting the shot together. I would get 50 feet in practice, and I would go into the meet and throw only 49. And to get 16 meters, I'm happy and pleased with that.
What about tomorrow? Javelin's always been the tough one. I hear that you're throwing very well.
Yeah, we went back to the drawing board with the javelin because at our TAC Nationals, I looked just like a beginner, and my coach wasn't pleased with that. So we've been working on it, putting it together, and hopefully I get some good distance tomorrow.
Get some rest and go at it tomorrow.
Yes, thanks a lot.
Oh my, she is exuding confidence, and well, she should. Jackie Joyner-Kersee with a 338-point lead over the Soviet Nikitina, and it'll be Jackie Joyner-Kersee going after her own world record tomorrow in the final 3 events. A battle for third between the Chinese Zhu, Frederick of the United States, 35 years old. Frederick, the veteran campaigner, she's the oldest on the women's side on the U.S. team, and Bamer of Germany, they're only 41 points apart, and Cindy Greiner of the U.S. is 13th. The big story remains in Rome. Ben Johnson, the world's fastest human by plenty. He offers his own self-examination when we return. And this eternal city will be mindful always of a 9.83, the world record in the 100 meters run by Ben Johnson of Canada, born in Jamaica, moved to Toronto at age 14 with his mother, who, by the way, was here to share the experience yesterday. Just to show you how that computes out, 9.83 in the old 100-yard dash days would have been an 8.98. And in miles per hour, he was running an average of just under 23 miles per hour. You could get a ticket in some places in the city back in Canada running that fast. Now, here's part of the success story, that explosive start, the best in the world. We're going to show it from different angles, Ben, and would you help us to appreciate? There's Ben Johnson in red in the middle. Now, this is at full speed as he breaks out, leads the pack, and Lewis just could not make up the ground.
Well, normally, for me to win this race, I have to reach my top speed at as early as possible. I say 45 meters, where I normally go at 60, my top speed, so I don't want to take any chances.
Now, here's the start. Yours is different than the others.
Yeah. When my arms were right, I came in so hard, I almost end up in lane 3, and I was just trying to maintain. I know Carl was probably coming soon, so I decided just to change gear and just go.
And we're going to see it head on next, and we're going to watch how you explode with those arms. It's almost like a blocker in football, the way you thrust those out.
Well, I usually come out with my arms right, so I got more explosive power coming from my back legs, also moving from the front.
Now, at that point, you knew you had a great start, and there's no way you know how close Lewis is, or can you sense your opponent and just where he might be?
Well, the first 2 or 3 minutes out the blocks, I know it was my best, and I just keep on going.
Now, why should you be quicker reacting to the gunshot than anyone else?
Well, it's all in the mind.
It's not training. You don't do it. Your technique isn't different. It's just your natural talent?
Yeah, just natural talent.
Now, there was one other moment after you won the race. You knew you had a world record. You could see the clock. And Carl Lewis, the man that, the word is that you have been obsessed with beating him. And Lewis tried to congratulate you and be part of your lap. There he is, and you give him a quick handshake, and he kind of said, hey, this is my time. Was that your feeling?
Well, I was juggling when the corner went to the crowds. I didn't see what's coming behind me at all, and they came up beside me and got banned, and I turned around and shake his hand, but I didn't see him at all. And people saying about I don't want to shake his hand. That's not true.
You respect him.
I respect him. Yeah.
You don't necessarily really like him.
No.
Well, you wound up having dinner last night at the same restaurant.
Well, I'm very easy to get along with other people, I'm easy to talk to, and I'm down to hurt guy. I talk to anyone, but those people just trying to make up a lot of things between me and Carl where, it's possible.
We can't make something out of that isn't there.
No.
But one thing we can be most certain of is Ben Johnson of Canada has stunned the sports world. The world's greatest sprinter has done something beyond imagination, and we appreciate that great talent again. The explosive start, as Bob Hayes, the former Olympic champion in the 100 meters and world record holder, said, you ran a perfect race. Thank you for being with us.
Final of the women's 400 meters. The world record is 47.60, set by Marita Koch in 1985. Here are the lane assignments. Olga Nazarova of the Soviet Union is in 1. Olga Bryzgina of the Soviet Union is in 2. Petra Muller of East Germany is in 3. Diane Dixon of the United States is in 4. Maria Pinagina of the Soviet Union is in 5. Kirsten Emmelmann of East Germany is in 6. Lily Leatherwood King of the United States is in 7. and Julian Richardson of Canada is in 8th. So there are 3 Soviets, 2 East Germans, 2 Americans, and 1 Canadian.
And that's Petra Muller. She's only 22 years old. She's really the top East German right now that Marita Koch, the world record holder, has retired. There's no clear favorites, but she does have the best time in the world this year, 49.64.
And she'll be challenged, the lady behind her, in lane 2, Olga Bryzgina of the Soviet Union. But in one respect, the race is almost wide open. In another respect, these are the 2 favorites.
Those are the 2 favorites. Her husband yesterday, Olga Bryzgina's husband, took 6th in the 100 meters final.
This is the final women's 400 meters. 1 lap, and they'll stay in their lanes.
Out in lane 7 is Lily Leatherwood King, and she really hangs back the first 200, but really comes on the last 200, but she can't get out very slowly here or everyone will be gone.
And it is a fair start with Bryzgina and Muller both starting fairly equal. Muller closing a little on Diane Dixon on the stagger, and right now you'd say that Petra Muller of East Germany has the early lead.
Right, she just passed Lily Leatherwood King. She's in all white. Diane Dixon is in lane 4 in all blue. She looks so strong right here, Petra Muller. She's got the lead right here.
And outside in lane 6, Kirsten Emmelmann of East Germany is running well, and she's picked up 2 staggers as they swing off of the wide curve and then have the final straight in front of them, and we'll sort it out.
And this is where the race starts after 300 meters because you're getting very tight here. Diane Dixon looks like she's not having her best race, and the East Germans are going against the Soviets right here.
And from the Soviet Union, Olga Bryzgina in lane 2, pulling away from Petra Muller. It is Bryzgina, Muller, and then also Emmelmann from East Germany. So the Soviets take the gold, and the East Germans take the silver and the bronze in the final of the women's 400 meters.
So Olga Bryzgina of the Soviet Union, that's the first gold medal for the Soviets, is the winner. Petra Muller of East Germany beats out her teammate Kirsten Emmelmann. The United States, meanwhile, is seeking its first gold medal, and disappointed in that 400, Lily Leatherwood King finished 5th and Diane Dixon 7th. As we look ahead tomorrow, Edwin Moses or Danny Harris, perhaps with a chance finally to bring America its initial gold. Speaking of gold, let's pause now for this Olympic moment.
This is the second round of the men's 400 meters. This is the 3rd of 4 heats with the top 3 finishers plus the 4 next best times through to the semifinal. Ismail Matsev is in lane 1. Garrison Souza is in 2. Butch Reynolds of the United States is in 3. Kuroshkin of the Soviet Union is in 4. Innocent Igbenike is in 5. Devon Morris of Jamaica is in 6. Tito Sawi is in 7. And Anton Skerritt of Canada is in lane 8.
Butch Reynolds should run from pretty much behind the whole race. That's his strategy until coming off the turn onto the last straightaway. He'll get a good look at Igbenike for the first 3/4 of this race.
And it is Innocent Igbenike out in lane 5 who takes the early lead, and he has closed already 2 staggers. And everybody projects the final to be between Butch Reynolds and Innocent Igbenike. So here's a little preview and some strategy at work, some mind games going.
And Butch Reynolds will be behind, probably coming off the turn. Just a question of how much strength he has. He's way behind. Let's see how strong he is on the straightaway.
Devon Morris is running second to Innocent Igbenike. Again, the top 3 finishers. Butch Reynolds is going to have to get going, and he does, and he ends up at a photo, and he does move through along with Innocent Igbenike and Devon Morris of Jamaica.
Now, Butch was...
So he does wait to the last.
He was reaching down to his right hamstring. I don't know if that means anything. Maybe he's just carrying his arm a little low. But I think that was a little too relaxed for me. In the stretch run, you can see Butch Reynolds in lane 3 comes off a good 5 or 6 meters behind. Then watch him come on. Just uses his arms. He's running better than anyone else on the straightaway, but he let himself get a long way behind. If he does that in the final, he's in trouble because Igbenike will not ease off.
An unofficial 45-47, and that's just an ordinary time.
Khristo Markov of Bulgaria in the 4th round of the men's triple jump is enjoying a very comfortable lead of 58 feet, 1 inch. He has really been the benefactor of some great tailwinds this afternoon. Big jump for Markov. His step almost landed in the pit. Khristo Markov, already out at 58 feet 1 inch from the first round, is really putting the hammer down in this competition. You can see he is full out on the runway, makes a slight adjustment just before the board, hits very close to fouling. Watch how close his step lands to the pit, stretches it out very close to the world record sign. 58 feet 9.5 inches. Not only a new championship record, but a new European record, and only 2 inches behind Willie Banks's world outdoor record. Now, Michael Conley of the United States, 4th round. He's currently in 3rd, has a lot of distance to make up to catch up to Markov. And a good jump for Conley. 57 feet, 11 inches. That moves him into 2nd place and much closer to Markov. Let's go back up to the studio and Dick Enberg.
Tough to pick up a ride here in Rome, isn't it, Dave? Well, we want to thank, on behalf of NBC Sports, the David Letterman Show, for allowing us to occupy his spot during the course of this week from Rome. And in the spirit of David Letterman, and where's Don Pardo when we really need him, we offer you tonight from Rome, stupid human javelin tricks. We go yesterday into Olympic Stadium. The man, Seppo Ratti of Finland, 25-year-old Helsinki railroad worker, his first attempt, and he sets an unofficial record for the shortest throw in World Championship history. Seppo Ratti, undaunted, this same Finn, this same 25-year-old Ratti, his last throw in the competition. Ratti approaches. And Ratti, with a mighty heave, 274 feet 1 inch, earns him the gold medal and the world championship. That same ingenious method to madness that David Letterman himself would be proud of. And tomorrow night, in the spirit of Letterman, Romacam.
Oleg Sakirkin of the Soviet Union, the leading qualifier from yesterday, currently standing in 4th place. And an excellent jump, improving his position from 4th to 3rd place with 57 feet 2¼ inches. Now, how many times have we seen this situation? It's the final round and the final jumper, and it's Michael Conley. He had to break the world indoor record to win the national championships this winter. He had to go to the 6th jump to win the world indoor championships, and now in 2nd place he must jump over 58 feet 9½ inches to secure the gold medal here in Rome. Can he go to the well one more time? And it's an excellent jump, but he can tell that it isn't quite enough. 57 feet 11¾ inches, a slight improvement. He remains in 2nd place, but he must settle for the silver medal. Taking another look at it, Michael Conley, looking for a favorable tailwind all afternoon, has to chop his step slightly here once again. Otherwise, his technique was excellent, but he just couldn't carry the amount of speed into the pit that he had to match Markov's 58 9½. Let's face it, we're talking about a jump very close to the world record. Here you can see his knees are coming up nicely, his arms are coming up nicely, but he had to chop slightly before the end. Very solid through the phases of the jump. An excellent extension here, but just not quite enough. There's always next year.
So Bulgaria celebrates another gold yesterday in the high jump, today in the triple jump. Khristo Markov, 58 9½. That's just 2 inches shy of Willie Banks' world record, and Markov with a sensational series of jumps. Mike Conley of the United States, that's the 3rd medal in the competition for the U.S. He earns the silver just as he did in the 1984 Olympics. And 3rd goes to Oleg Sakirkin of the USSR. Dwight Stones now with a former Arkansas Razorback.
Michael, do you think maybe you went to the well one too many times? You had a great performance, but Markov was just very tough today.
Markov was a hard person to meet today. He jumped 17.92, and for things to click right for me, I would have had to get a good win like he got in the first 3 rounds, and turned around the last 3 jumps, they had a negative win. But I'm going to go back home, put it all together, and train hard for the Olympic Games and hope to get a good one there.
In the 4th round of the women's discus, 26-year-old Martina Hellmann of East Germany, the defending champion, had her winning throw. She stands 5'10", weighs 181 pounds, with a very good throw of 235 feet even to capture the gold. Diana Gansky of East Germany, the favorite going in, settled for the silver. Tsvetanka Khristova, Bulgaria, the bronze. Now let's go to Dick. He's with film historian Bud Greenspan.
Well, the old saying, Charlie, goes you have to start where you finish, but in the 100 meters, you have to finish what you start. Bud, where were you yesterday?
I was in the stands yesterday afternoon, Dick, and it was deja vu for me because I had been studying two races very, very similar to the one that happened yesterday afternoon, going as far back as 1936.
Now, that was Jesse Owens, and it involved one of his 4 gold medals because Ralph Metcalfe of the U.S. really was favored in that race.
Ralph Metcalfe, to his dying days, said he lost the race not just because of the start, but because of the starter. The starter had changed his rhythm. Now, here we have the start of the race. That's Jesse. Will go off, and you'll see exactly what happened to Ralph at the start of the race. He's on the extreme left of your screen now with the circle. Jesse is on the far right. Now, Ralph right now is about, pardon me, 1.5 yards behind. Now, as they come down towards the finish line, Jesse is 3 meters ahead, and Ralph is cutting down the distance, going from sixth to second, and he loses by the exact amount he was behind at the start of the race.
Now, this is here in Roman 60
Now,
games.
24 years later, right here at the Rome Olympic Stadium, we have a similar situation, again on the outside lanes, 1 and 8. Arm and Harry closest to the camera, David Sim on the inside, coming to the tape, and it's Arm and Harry winning by about a foot. As we continue on with the film, Sim sprawls into the middle lane, uninjured, but the next day, the newspapers showed exactly where the race was won. That's Arm and Harry, closest to us, said to have the most explosive start of all time. And watch now the next photograph, which is going to show him in the first stride, 1 yard or 1 meter ahead of everybody else in the race. And if you remember what we just saw, he was a little less than 1 meter ahead at the finish.
Well, they compare Ben Johnson's start with Armand Hari, who had such an incredible leap on the opposition. You saw them both. Is Johnson faster than Hari?
He probably explodes the sound more quickly than anybody in the history of track and field. As you know, Armand Harry, reputedly to react 3 times faster than everybody else. I would think that if they ever do scientific tests on Mr. Johnson, it'll be a far greater. Here you see at the start of the race, it's a true race, and look at Johnson go out there by the first 3 meters. He is out by about 1 meter, and that's where the race was won.
Thanks, Bud. In red, center of the screen, the muscular Ben Johnson's incredibly fast start, a link to 100-meter history. The Canadian's amazing 9.83, a Sunday to remember in Rome.
We're ready for the final of the women's 800 meters. In the lane assignments, Nadezhda Olezarenko of the Soviet Union is in lane 1. Vitika Jugiatu of Romania is in 2. Jarmila Kratochvilova of Czechoslovakia is in 3. Sigrun Wodars of East Germany is in 4. Lyubov Gurina of the Soviet Union is 5. Anna Kiro of Cuba is in 6. Slobodanka Cholovic of Yugoslavia is in 7. And Kristina Wachtel of East Germany is in 8. The world record is held by Jarmila Kratochvilova, 1:53.28, and she is in lane 3 in the twilight of such a great career. Of course, the impossible double at Helsinki, and her career may be coming to a close here at the championships. And your pick is Anna Kiro in lane 6 from Cuba.
You know, Kratochvilova, well, there's Anna Kiro, and she's looked very well, and she's running really the best of her life right now. She used to be in the 400 meters, and now she's moved up. And you watch her, we'll watch her later. I like her style. Her only drawback is that she doesn't have quite as much international experience in the 800-meter field, but let's watch her the last 200.
The final of the women's 800 meters, 2 Soviets, 2 East Germans, 1 Romanian, 1 Czechoslovakian, 1 Cuban, and 1 runner from Yugoslavia. 2 laps of the track. They'll stay in the lanes around the turn and then break for the pole.
Wachtel on the very outside, she can kick off of any pace. She doesn't mind pushing the pace either. Let's see who takes the lead.
And there's kind of a swirling wind here in the stadium, and Anna Kiro of Cuba goes out in front to challenge for the lead, and she does take it as East Germany will move up on the outside, and that is Kristina Wachtel of East Germany, and Kiro running second and just nestles in off of her shoulder.
You know, in a championship race, Charlie, you've got to stick with what you race well best, and Wachtel likes to take the lead. She gets out of trouble.
Kristina Wachtel is running out in front with Anna Kiro just on her shoulder. And Zigra Wodars running third. Khristova is running either fourth or fifth, staying inside, right inside of lane one. Right now, she is fifth.
I think the East Germans, you can tell, they want to control the race together, and they're pushing people around to do so.
Zigra Wodars of East Germany takes the lead, and Kristina Wachtel is running second. And the Khristo is third.
She's still right there, but, you know, she had her steps cut a little bit, and that really messes you up, but she's right in perfect position in third place and all red.
So the East Germans dominating it right now. It is Wodars number 1, Wachtel 2, Khristo is there. And then from the Soviet Union, the runner is Gurina. Lyubov Gurina is running fourth, and Khristo challenging, coming off of the shoulder of Kristina Wachtel of East Germany.
Khristo really is in good position right here. We're just going to come down to see who has the most turnover, leg turnover quickness the last 100 meters.
And moving inside from East Germany is Zigra Wodars. It is Wodars, it is Khristo, it is Wachtel, and now the two East Germans pulling away, battling each other side by side. They will finish 1-2, and it is Zigra Wodars of East Germany who captures the gold. Kristina Wachtel has the silver.
Charlie, you could tell these two wanted to run together, and they controlled this race.
And now we'll go to the back straight and watch part of the strategy of the women's 800 meters.
I think we can tell that Khristo did not have as much experience. She let the East Germans push her around. And right here, Wachtel goes to take the lead because she's the strongest runner of the East Germans. She likes a quick pace. Wodars is tucked in behind Wachtel in blue top and white shorts. Khristo is on the outside. You can tell by watching her arms. See how she's not bringing him straight back. She's going side to side. That means she's tight. That means she's tired. But the East Germans, Wodars, is taking the lead on the inside. Wachtel is going to her arms. She's very strong in her legs. And the Soviet looks like she's getting ready to slip through right here. She's got the best form between herself and Khristo.
Wodars, Wachtel, Gurina, and then Khristo, an unofficial 1:55.27. That is the fastest time in the world this year.
A big day for the powerful East German team. 2 more medals in the 800-meter run. Wodars and Wachtel 1-2. The Soviet Gurina is third. Khristo of Cuba, the Pan Am champion, finishes a disappointing fourth. And the U.S. still disappointed. No gold medal. Tomorrow, a terrific chance for a couple. Edwin Moses and Danny Harris go in the 400-meter hurdles. And, of course, Jackie Joyner Kersey goes for her own world record in the heptathlon. Here is the medal count, led by the East Germans. 6 of the 9 women medals today went to the East Germans. Soviet Union with 6, United States, Bulgaria, Italy with 3. And we leave Rome tonight celebrating with the Italians as they saluted today their 20K walk gold medalists of yesterday, Maurizio da Milano.